everyone. Good morning. Good morning. It's 9/11. I was going to talk about 9/11, but nah. Because everyone's talking about it and I have something even more interesting. So, there is this person I follow on Twitter. I believe he is an author. I think he wrote speeches for Elizabeth Warren. I'm not really sure. But he is this black guy, and he had this experience that he stayed in an Airbnb. It was presented as a normal Airbnb, and whenever he got there, there was a lot of satanic imagery. Like there was a whole wall of, excuse me, of, you know, Satan statues and bestiality and just weird stuff, right? And if you're into that, then um, I have a nuanced opinion about that I'll get into later. But he complained, he asked for a refund, and I think he mentioned something on his Twitter account about it because he is a human. He's allowed to have opinions. He's allowed to have public opinions. And I would be irritated too, right? I would probably ask for a refund too. Like if I thought it was just a normal Airbnb stay, then, and I showed up to like a Satan wall, please give me my money back. This is weird, right? Um, and so after he complained about it, Vice wrote an article about it, and so there's all these people online who are like, "What a baby! He like satanic panicked away from this Airbnb." And it's just so gross to me because I don't understand why you can't respect someone's spiritual boundaries. And I did mention that he was black. It is important in this case because he was talking about how it's not respectful of like a black person's fear, and I don't want to overstep what he said. Maybe I can link some of the tweets, but again, I might forget. You can research it yourself. Frederick Johnson, I think. Um, but you know, I just keep thinking about how um, white Christ- white Christians, like WASP type of people, took slaves from Africa, took them away from their um, beliefs, and then sort of whitewashed them and beat them into believing, um, uh, the white Christian way. And so they essentially like spooked them about this whole God devil business, um, like years and years ago, and then now like all of these like white Satanists are making fun of this guy's experience. And yes, there are some black Satanists in there, but I still feel like it's like really insensitive to sort of mock this in any case. But like of course, like black people have to be like hypersensitive about this stuff. Like if you arrive to a house that you thought was just a normal house and they had a Satan wall, like what are these people doing, you know? Um and there's some towns that they can't even drive through past sundown. They're called sundown towns. They have to look up directories if they want to go on a road trip. So, yes, they're like extra cautious about things, and it's nothing to like make fun of them about. Hold on one sec. But I also kind of wanted to talk about just Satan in general because for a long time, I didn't believe, um, I was more, so it's been a journey. I believed in God as a kid, but not in the way, like, not in a biblical way my grandparents did. But I believed in God as a kid, and then whenever I got to high school, there were more, I just hung out with more free thinkers, and a lot of them did not believe in God. So my faith was questioned, and that's okay. I think questioning your faith is healthy. But I still, like, it still took me until a few years ago to take demons, demonology, shadow, Satan, the devil seriously. And I think when I was sort of this non believer, I thought it was kind of a joke. Like they said, satanic panic, right? So, and I do know some Satanists, and um, part of their um, part of their journey was this sort of disbelief in God, this sort of making fun of religion. And I get it. Like, I grew up in the Bible Belt. Fundamentalists take it to an extreme. But I do believe that, there is this higher force that's of good, of God, of light. I believe that I am a light worker. But it wasn't until a few years ago when I really had to deal with my shadow self. I really had to look at my own inner demons, and I saw how they played in played a role in depression, right? So I feel like a lot of times when people are going through a dark night of the soul, they're going through uh, these really suicidal depressions, they are facing their shadow, they are meeting their demons. And if you are in a vulnerable state, then these entities, like, want to drain your life force. And um, so I had to set boundaries whenever I was trying to kill myself. Whenever I wanted to kill myself, I had to set boundaries on those shadow entities and say, you're not allowed in my space, right? And the only entities allowed in my space are of the light. And it's not to say that I don't work with deities that are on the shadow end. I do connect with Hecate, however you say it. I like Hecate. And I understand why someone would need those darker entities. But if that entity is not cool with God, then we're not going to work together, right? So Hecate is cool with God. The whole point of Satan was to reject God, was to say, bye, God, right? Like, see you later, I can do it on my own. And as a light worker who tries and practices unconditional love, I have to have some love for those people, right? I have to have some love for Satanists, for atheists, for non-believers, because I am a light worker and I can lead them out of that. I can be that ladder, and it's not through guilting them or shaming them. Like, they have their own journey. I'm just an example, right? But I think this not taking it seriously, like not believing in anything, like not believing there's anything, right? So fundamentalists take it to such an extreme that it turns people away from religion altogether. It turns people away from God altogether. And so they believe that all of it's nonsense, right? And then they'll mock it with a spaghetti god in the sky, right? And I totally get where that path would come from, right? Because there are some Bible thumpers that are out of control, judgmental, crazy, deranged, shoot up, mosques and stuff. So, yes, Bible people take it to the extreme. But by not taking any of it seriously, by going the opposite way, I believe that you're opening yourself up to entities that you're like, ha ha ha, I'm not taking this seriously, but they will take you seriously, and they will manipulate you, and they will control you. And I think that's why we have a lot of depression in this country. I mean, it's other factors too, but that's why our mindset sucks. That's why we have so many power struggles. And I believe that even if you don't take those things seriously, that having like a wall of Satan in your home is opening up some kind of portal, is opening up some kind of space for those dark entities to come to. And you can believe that that's hogwash, you can believe that that's silly, you can believe that demons are just as good as angels, but I don't understand why you can't respect someone's belief. Like, a home is supposed to be a sanctuary, right? And regardless of whether you take that seriously or not, you have opened up a portal. And I don't want a portal to darkness in my living space, in my home, in my area. It's also not to say that you can't have little bitty demon figures here and there. And like I said, I still have little like shadow parts of myself, spirit guides, I guess, that are little demons, and they serve their purposes. But I have firm boundaries, right? And like, part of my working with them is to lead them out of the light, but they cannot take my light. They cannot drain my light. They cannot use my energy. It has to be given from me, and there are strong boundaries with them. And I, as a Unitarian Universalist, you're supposed to look at everyone like it's their own path, right? And so that's how I'm treating this. And it's not I have my own path to walk down, right? But I don't understand why saying a devil wall freaks me out, I want a refund, is something to mock, is something to say, like, that's no big deal. The world we have lived in, we are living in, right? But it would be anything like fanatical like that, that has like deranged meaning, right? If you thought you were going to an Airbnb, and they advertised it as like just a normal household, and there's like a wall of Trump, like he's a very divisive figure. I did not know about this. This is a weird place to stay. If you had a wall of Nazi memorabilia, maybe you are just admiring that, but it's weird, right? If it's not advertised. So it's just sad. But there's been a big pile on me for saying that he has a right to a right and a reason to be concerned, and just a lot of people are mocking, and it sucks. Hi there, I'm about to get off, actually. Okay. But yeah, that's the Devil House. But actually, I had one more thing. So I over the years, I came to realize that there are demons out there are devils out there, and so, like, to take those seriously, right? To set boundaries with them, because my own mental health required it. And I can only imagine if you're black and, like, you don't know what white people are going to do to you, like, this is a white person's home, and they have Satan on the walls, like, I don't know, I would be scared. But it wasn't until, like, over this past year, and this is gonna sound conspiratorial, but I just have been seeing so much of it that you can't turn away. I am now seeing, like, celebrities in these occult practices, right? These rituals. If you look at, like, Madonna performances, maybe some of the stuff they're doing with Britney, I don't know. And I know it sounds crazy. I would have thought you were crazy a few years ago, but, like, understanding more of Gigi Young actually does a great job at explaining occult practices, and she doesn't do it from like a satanic perspective, right? She does it from like, she's more of a she connects with ETs, so it's more but like angelic. She's a very like loving person, um, but she explains this like darker side of the other side, I guess, right? Because I think a lot of us lean into this whole love and light side. So, you know, we listen to subliminals on an archangel Gabriel meditation or something like that, right? But understanding the darker side of this work can be a safeguard, really. But really, I would not have been this conspiratorial. But it just, like, I don't know, the veil is coming off. So, and like I said, those entities, like, drained me because, like I said, Satan rejected God, and so God is the life force, right? God is sun, energy, the light within us. They say go to the light when you die, right? So the devil, he can't ascend, he can't go to heaven, he can't go out of the earth anymore. He's banished to earth. And he can't get his life force because he rejected God, right? So he has to get it from other sources. He has to get it from people, energy vampires, from stars. When we say like celebrities are stars, they have a light within them. On some level, I believe I have that light. Although I don't want to be like super famous, but and this is just to say that normal people in your life can have that light. I believe, like, my cousin Jordan has that light where, like, you just see her and it's like, ah, light of God, you know? But if you are in a vulnerable space, if you don't set boundaries on these entities, then those entities are going to want to draw off that light, right? So these stars like Madonna that are, like, really powerful, entities will try to draw off that, use them in ritual. Performances can be ritual. And if you've seen some of her stuff, it's a little dark. I will say my opinions about Madonna in a Patreon video. How about that? I know I've promised a lot of Patreon stuff, and I'm behind on that. I really apologize, but I am working hard on screenwriting stuff, and just really focused on that right now. So these videos are basically the only thing I can promise, and I'm sorry about that. But Madonna. So they use like the light of these people to gain that life force, right? And I think the devil is sort of fragmented into these shadow energies, some of which can have the potential of seeing the light, right? But the devil itself, the source of that darkness, the source of that rejection, is not, cannot be led out of that light, right? Until they admit, like, I want to be part of that light. The only way they can get that light now is by cheating, right? By cheating and like stealing off of other people's light. By light, I mean we all have like light within us, right? And the more connected you are to that source energy, the like brighter you are, the more light that you have, right? So maybe I can get into that later, but setting boundaries on the devil, setting boundaries on Satan houses is okay. It's perfectly okay and should not be mocked. But it's okay. I know that, I mean, it's not okay, but it is understandable because if you are a spiritual person, you will get mocked in some way for your beliefs, and that's the part of having faith, is you just have to be firm in your beliefs. And my belief is you should set boundaries on that stuff, right? I'll see you next time, guys. I'll see you on Monday. Have a good Friday. Don't stay in any satanic Airbnbs over the weekend. I love you. Bye.